states have legalized or are about to legalize recreational marijuana use. Is this wise or foolish? Like most any topic or concept considered within the human context of debate, the answer will depend on who you ask, because one's response will inevitably be the manifestation of their specific beliefs and view of the world and universe as a whole. Therefore, we need to scrutinize the implications of how legalizing recreational marijuana use in Michigan impacts the trajectory of the overall moral health of American society. It is a fundamental part of American society to recognize the profound significance of and the interrelatedness between the freedoms and rights of each citizen and of the collective national citizenry as a whole. Nevertheless, the issue of personal freedom is at the core of the proposal in Michigan concerning the legalization of recreational marijuana use. Consider the quote from J.S.P. "The only freedom which deserves the name is that of pursuing our own good in our own way, so long as we do not attempt to deprive others of theirs or impede their efforts to obtain it. Therefore, let us consider what may be the wisest course of action in light of the controversy over marijuana legalization in connection with the upholding of democracy." The conjugal relationship between a man and a woman brings forth offspring into society for the purpose of preserving the national civilization of such a society. Yet, who are the primary teachers of such children? The answer to this question is of the utmost importance. Consequently, it is the opinion of the J-T.A.S.P Department of Ethics that the family unit is analogous to a cell in biology because the mother and the father, together with their offspring, functions as the basic building block of society for the purpose of producing productive citizens. The quote from J.G. Holland, "No nation can be destroyed while it possesses a good home life," is a critical principle to consider. Laying aside respect for plausible arguments supporting medical use, we must ask, is the justification of recreational marijuana use by parents who claim they are stressed out from the demands of work and parenting reasonable? If not, then is it analogous to a teenager presenting an argument which justifies a certain immoral behavior before strict parents who disapprove of the particular behavior in light of having the best interest of their children in mind? Consider the Today's Parent quote from Canada. "Pot users are looking more like professional, family-oriented moms who like to get high every now and then," and reflect on the implications of that quote for children. Concerning heavy marijuana smokers who get high on a regular basis, it must be understood that sometimes, as their habit persists, they tend to experience greater levels of social anxiety and general anxiousness, and that sometimes long-term weed use can alter their personalities, making them less outgoing and socially engaged. Remember, we are considering the plausibility of whether parents are correct in justifying the recreational use of marijuana. Therefore, the University of Rochester Medical Center lists the following as effects of marijuana use: feeling of joy, relaxation, increased sight, hearing, and taste perceptions, increased appetite, loss of coordination, making it difficult, even dangerous, to perform tasks like driving a car, false sense of time, trouble thinking and problem solving that can also affect driving, unable to tell the difference between oneself and others, anxiety or panic reactions, or being overly suspicious and distrustful. Children, who are the future leaders in society, should be the center of concern when any state has residents voting on legalizing marijuana. Furthermore, parents are role models for children and should be aware of the following. According to an ESPN series of articles which connected marijuana use to athletic performance, chronic marijuana use has been associated with the development of tolerance in which the user may have a tendency to increase the amount of marijuana used. Therefore, parents who think they can control their marijuana use may need to reconsider their priorities in life. Nevertheless, Dr. Gary Wadler, a New York University School of Medicine professor, states the following in the second of these 8 ESPN articles. Physical and psychological dependence in frequent users is associated with signs and symptoms of withdrawal upon discontinuation. Consider the quote above by C. Kingsley. There are 2 freedoms, the false, where one is free to do what he likes, and the true, where he is free to do what he ought. Proposition A. Doing what a human being wants to do. If a man or woman, as a spouse and parent, wants the liberty to engage in recreational marijuana use, is this truly best for the child or children he or she is responsible for raising? Is pleasure more important than virtue? What happens to a civilization which lives according to unbridled passions? Proposition B. Doing what a human being ought to do. If a man or woman, as a spouse and parent, wants the best for the child or children he or she is responsible for raising, then should they deny the desire for getting high off of marijuana in order to set the right example as a parent? Would such self-restraint prove to benefit society at large? Many states have legalized or are about to legalize recreational marijuana use. Is this wise or foolish? Michigan will have the chance to vote on November 6, 2018. All the evidence strongly suggests that the proposal will pass. Nevertheless, while the J-T.A.S.P Department of Ethics believes that passing such a proposal is foolish, there will still be opportunities to plant seeds of truth in our great nation, which has set a trend that Michigan seems to be following. Regardless, the concern ought to be proclaiming the truth that a nation is only as good as the virtues of its collective citizenry. We must realize that to love neighbor and country requires each citizen to seek wisdom so that they may correctly understand their responsibilities in upholding true liberty.